What's going on, team? Coach here, and this is part 2 of the interview we had with Excalibur Zero, the former music supervisor who is now a music producer in the sync licensing world, paving the way. Hope you enjoy it. Take notes. Make sure you're taking notes because he shares so much good information. Let's jump right in. Let's see here. So you mentioned something that I thought was key. It's one of my questions here. What are your thoughts on samples and loop packs and producers using those for their music?
So if you're using samples, you got to make sure they're clear. They have to be royalty free. It's very messy if you use a sample. I've seen tons of different scenarios where, even producers who think that the sound like a song sounds too familiar, they hear it on a TV show, they think, oh, okay, that song kind of sounds like my song. They'll go after you for sure. Like, it creates a lot of messiness. So you don't want to really get into that, trouble. As far as royalty-free loops, you can use them, but it's best to chop them up and kind of make them unrecognizable. That's the best bet. I've personally used loops that have been straight off a splice and made a beat out of it and have gotten placed and have not gotten to any, legal issues. The library, one of the main libraries that I was signed to, does that as well. They have different loops they'll get off splice or whatever. They get, prime loops or whatever they get their loops off of, and then they'll basically just create a beat out of it. And there's been no issues, but at the same time, I know that in the field right now, they're cracking down more on that, and they want to make sure that they're not running into any of those issues. So if you're going to use loops, I think that you should use loops either internally with some friends and make sure that you just let the music library and music supervisor know that you're co-producing on that track, or you're just, using royalty-free samples that are, kind of unrecognizable. Drum loops are fine, percussion loops are perfectly fine, but if you use anything melodic, kind of make it your own and make it unique.
Agreed. I really like the idea of, all producers have friends that are also producers. So if you can keep it in the family or keep it in the crew, then everybody eats, everybody gets paid, and everybody's hopefully trustworthy. Right. But, using things like splice and loop packs, like, you're literally taking a shot in the dark. Right. Someone else can use that loop and then they could like copyright it, or somehow it gets recognized or registered by Content ID or something like that. And then you're screwed, and they're not even the ones who came up with it. So right. It's a risky shot in the dark. Definitely. So let's talk about the libraries, right? And the type of music that you do. How do you feel about exclusive licensing versus non-exclusive licensing?
So all of the deals that I've personally done have been exclusive. And the difference between the two is exclusive. Basically, you submit your music to a library. They'll own that song. They can submit it to wherever they want. They can put it on Spotify. They can have a vocalist go over it. And they can do whatever they want with it. And most production companies prefer that, depending on the project they're working on, especially for like reality TV. If they have like a large like lump sum of cues they need, like usually cues are another word for a track. So if they have a TV show, there's probably like between 80 to 115, 120 tracks going to be placed on one episode. So they want to make sure that they're using cleared stuff that they can, go through on a larger scale. So if you're going to do exclusive, that's the best bet because you're going to have a higher chance of getting placed, in my opinion. Non-exclusive is also good because when you submit your track in, you're able to submit it to whatever library you want. You still own full rights to the track, and you're not having to worry about, getting that piece of percentage cut out, like a bigger piece of percentage cut out of your music, whole percentage of the track. So I think that is really based off preference. You can do either or. There's some libraries out there like Crucial Music and stuff that really go on non-exclusive basis. I know Artlist is another catalog that does that. I think Epidemic Sound is another catalog for non-exclusive. But in my experience, I think that exclusive has worked best for me because the tracks that I've submitted, let's say if I'm making a Christmas trap type beat, I'm not going to be able, I'm not going to be putting that on YouTube or selling it to an artist. I mean, I know some people probably do, but I could turn that in to a library, get that placed, and it'll live in the library. And each Christmas that's going on, they're going to be pulling from that, same track. So that's the best bet in my opinion. And there was something else I was going to say with that, but I can't think of it. So that should be it.
I like that. I've yet to go with any exclusive opportunities just yet. At least me personally, I had decided that whatever company I got in with first, I was just going to hit 3 months of just making tracks and flooding it This way I can go back and look at the data and be like, hey, is this working for me or not? So my personal formula, we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know in 3 months.
Smart though, that's smart.
Yeah, this was one that I saw in our Discord often, actually. So people want to submit to these music libraries and they don't know how, right? So I believe I uploaded most of my stuff to SoundCloud. Some people may upload most of their stuff to YouTube. And then I hear about Disco. Disco is kind of like a portfolio app for audio, just like SoundCloud. What are your thoughts?
Disco for sure is the best bet because it's industry standard, but it is paid to use. So if you don't want to use that and you're just submitting to a library and you want to kind of get your foot in the door, there's no problem with SoundCloud. YouTube, I've seen YouTube links, I've seen BeatStars links, even when I was working at the music library and stuff like that. But just make sure that it's something that's very easy to play, something that's not going to take a lot of time. Like if I'm going through 150 submissions and for all these different composers, I want to make sure that I can read the email quickly. It's short, sweet, to the point, and that link is very easy and accessible that I can just click, it'll play. I don't have to worry about waiting for an ad. I don't have to worry about it loading or anything like that. So just make sure that you're using something that is quick. I used to use Box, and Dropbox is fine as well, but Box.com is free for like 5 gigs, and I think Dropbox is free as well. So SoundCloud also works. I know sometimes if you listen to like 2 or more tracks, those are going to be ads that play. So if you have, the premium version of Spotify, that might be better, or not Spotify, but SoundCloud, that might be better. But yes, I think that anything that's very easy to play is going to be your best bet.
You know what Disco goes for monthly?
I'm not sure actually right now.
I can't think it could be more than like, I don't know, $15 or less. Listen, producers, this is your business. This is your livelihood. Spend the $15 just for the month. If you're going to be submitting, tell yourself, I'm going to submit to as many people as possible in these 30 days. Use the free trial, so invest in yourself a little bit, because I know we all broke. I know the music industry. I know producers. I know rappers. It's hard to fork out $10 here and there, but think of it as investing in yourself.
For sure.
Let's be honest, okay? You who used to be a music supervisor, I submit to you a 5-minute track. How much of that 5-minute track what are you thinking when you see, oh shit, 500, and how much do you actually listen to?
So if it's a 5-minute track, I'm most likely not listening to the whole thing. I prefer links that have the audio like file visual, like the visual of it, so I can see how the waveform looks. So I know this is where the hook's going to be. This is where the intro is. This is where the verse is probably going to be. I can skip through and hear, okay, the song is nice. Because like I said, we're going through a lot of submissions. This song really fits for whatever we need as far as our library or the scene for a specific type of show or anything like that. So it's not going to be the full song unless it's like some song that like, it's just like, dang, this track is crazy. Like I have to listen to it just because I like it. Most of the time, if we're going through submissions really quickly, it's just skimming through a song, and if the song fits, then we're going to listen to it even more and see how we can place it. So that's usually how it goes.
So you didn't give a time though?
I think that 1.5 to 2 minutes, especially for like reality TV or anything like that. Even scripted series are like 2 minutes. It's a sweet spot. 2.5, 3 minutes is like the absolute max. But most of the time for television, the durations for placements are really short. It's between like, it could be anywhere from 4 seconds to 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, so it really depends on the show. So I think 1.5, 2 minutes is your sweet spot. 2.5 minutes probably max. If you're a producer, if you're an artist, 2.5 minutes is fine.
Come on, X is giving away the sauce, y'all. Giving away the sauce. Appreciate it, man.
Of course.
See. All right, so this is more of a personal production question. How many beats are you making per week?
If depends on the brief.
Or for a newbie, how many do you recommend that they get out per week?
If you're submitting for TV, like 5 to 10 each week, because when you're supplying a lot of quality music, the more you're getting in, the more you're going to get placed. So if you're a producer who makes drill music, I would double down on that. Make drill music that sounds like tense or drama or dramatic. Make drill music that sounds emotional. Make drill music that sounds comedic and funny and lighthearted. Just make a lot of different styles of that that genre that you're strong in, and make sure that you're submitting like 5 at least a week to really start building your, because if you have a music library that has a big catalog of all these different producers, you need to be building your own catalog within that music library that really promotes your strong suit, your strength as far as a producer. If you're a trap producer, is a really talented trap producer, be that person in that library who's the forefront of that sound. Like, okay, this TV show needs 10 trap beats or 20 trap beats. I got the guy right here who's going to have the highest quality and supply him with that. So yeah, I think that 5 to 10 a week is a good goal. I mean, and if you don't make a 10 tracks every week, that's fine. You know, like, just make sure you're getting music out there and submitting it.
I told y'all this interview was so good. Part 3 is right here. Click it now. What are you waiting for? Click it now. This is getting ridiculous. It hasn't been clicked yet. It's just, you're gonna want to see that video. No lie. How these youngins say today, no cap.